Hey buddy, do you like to book sometimes? Well, I got one right here for you. This one's selling like a big fat hotcake, and today or tomorrow might be your last chance to get it. Ghostfire let me talk about this real cool Kickstarter they got going on, and today is my last day before I walk the plank into the aether. Cause my powers are needed only one more time. The power of persuasion, which I will now use on you. Get the book. Go get it. Click the button. Be a good boy. Or a good other identity. But get it. It's a big old space adventure setting for 5th edition with boats and pirates and flags and crew members and a million other cool things that are scattered all over the fleeting Kickstarter page. If y'all are fast enough, you can even unlock the Cloaked Blade Rogue subclass. I don't know what that is, but I assume it comes with a cloaking device. Ghostfire has never failed in terms of product quality or the quality of their contents, and that doesn't stop with Ethereal Expanse. Thanks for supporting me and them, and here's moving lights and sounds that I designed just for you. Do you remember the first time you opened the DM's guide and looked at all the magic items like it was an Amazon homepage and wishlisted like half the stuff? And then you forgot the other half? Actually, yeah, me too. I'm still waiting for someone to get me a robe of eyes for Christmas. It's like an anxiety blanket. Well, with a lot of magic items, they have surprisingly creative uses, which I would argue are better than their intended purpose. I ran through all the core stuff, and here's some of the best magic items I could find. Starting with the Headband of Intellect. While wearing it, an attuned creature gains an intelligence of 19. A 19 in intelligence makes you a master of game show trivia and capable of infallible recall on par with photographic memory. It's like one step below Doctor Strange. Now, most parties would just go ahead and hand this to the wizard, but since attuning requires nothing more than an hour of concentrating on the item, you can put it on any beast and the odds are pretty high it'll start reciting Shakespeare and making tactical plans before the day's end. This item is a free ticket to having a pig in your party who's voiced by Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yummy, yummy, for my fat little pig tummy.
And if the pig dies, you can just keep cycling through beasts until you end up with like a Mojo Jojo Big Bad that you created. That's fun. Next up, the Instant Fortress. It's a little 1-inch Lego toy with a command word that turns it into a big old tower. I'm pretty sure the vast majority, if not every item that has a command word, doesn't require attunement, which is very important. Most people know that the tower has two uses, a safe stronghold during camping or battle, and as an expensive matter bomb that can crush creatures around it when it transforms. But you might not have considered, if everyone in your party knows the command word, they can literally just run around a battlefield constantly tossing, growing, and shrinking it like a repeatable grenade. As long as you use turn economy well, that's 10d10 bludgeoning damage every 2 turns. Honestly, who needs a castle when you can just keep summoning and dropping a tower like the Marbled Rock in Zelda? The Helm of Teleportation. It's a rare one, but it gives you 3 uses of a 7th level spell roughly every day. Teleportation is tricky, but you can bring 8 people along, and if you have an object from the area, you can reliably teleport there. Which means the helmet is a perfect safeguard for quick thefts. Just go ahead and pick up a clod of dirt wherever you are, think about that dragon's hoard that you saw casually, and cross your fingers. If you fail, just use the dirt to get back and wait a day. If you succeed, grab some gold and then use that gold to go back tomorrow. So now I'm standing here with a helmet on my head, gold in one hand, and what I'm now realizing isn't dirt in my other hand, but I've got a reliable financial rat hole. Until they catch on and start setting up defenses for me. Real quick, I saw this thing that I've never actually looked at called the Horseshoes of a Zephyr. They let your horse float a whole 4 inches off the ground, and that's mostly it. But it specifically encourages you to have your horse walk over lava. I don't know the actual numbers, but I'm pretty sure your horse would turn into Hayden Christensen. Hey, then crispy son. The Alchemy Jug. This is a jug that creates liquid material you can pour out every day, and they used it in that one show to make the mayonnaise.
Do you have a jug of mayonnaise now?
No, I ate that too.
I read from an interview with, I believe, Chris Perkins that they only added mayonnaise because they were tired after having written the other 2 books, and they were curious about what people would come up with.
We were there over the weekend in 95-degree weather. We got to the Alchemy jug, and we were both so exhausted by the heat. We started to put in stupid ideas for what the Alchemy jug could possibly spit out. The one that we left in was mayonnaise.
I actually can't think of anything. It's just eggs and oil. But there's a different use for this item. If you bought a used barrel from a tavern for 2 gold, you can fill it with beer over the course of 10 days, and then sell it back to the tavern for 10 gold. Then buy 5 barrels, and over 50 days fill them with ale. Then you make 50 gold, and you can buy 25 barrels. Now this is where you switch to oil. With a little bit of patience, 11 years later, you'll have 25 barrels full of 1,000 gallons of oil. Go ahead and trade the alchemy jug to a fire giant for a gargantuan wok, which you will then place on a volcano. Here you have 2 choices. Either slay a Tarrasque or broker peace with all nearby kingdoms and have them bring sacrifices to the volcano. It's important that you remember to call a Guinness World Record representative, and now you can enjoy the world's biggest cookout, the world's biggest deep fryer, the most peace brokered over food in one event, and be the first adventurer to achieve world peace. So all in all, this is a good item. The Immovable Rod. This is the strongest single object in the multiverse since it has no perceivable means of being destroyed. You click a button and nothing shy of 4 tons of applied force can get it to move. The best way to use this is on a large moving enemy or object. If you click the button in front of a warship, you can obliterate everything inside within a 1-foot line and break up all of its vitals. Or you can go ahead and click it in a dragon's mouth while it's flying. That'll make IBS look like a walk in the park. Click it inside of a stationary dragon and it can only move 10 feet at a time, if it succeeds on a DC 30 strength check. The Manual of Golems. For anyone who can't cast a 5th level spell, they take 6d6 damage trying to read a single page. Which means you can rip a page out and use it like Heaven's Door, killing anyone that can read it and has less than like 20 hit points. Pipes of the Sewers. You can summon all nearby rats, and if you're good at using it, you can command the swarm of rats pretty actively. If you're doing it directly and you know the right tune, you can recreate that scene in Ratatouille. Or make them all swarm into a trench coat and see an R-rated movie with you. I think the intended use for this item is to go to a city or like a port town and go to the dock and then pull all the rats out of the place for money. But if that fails and you don't get paid, just go ahead and pull out your pipes of the kindergarten and you know what to do. Ring of Spell Storing. Wizards and other casters who conjure up a spell while touching this item have that spell automatically sucked into the ring. And if you happen to be attuned to the ring, then you can use that spell instead. Or if it was your spell, you can just use it and waste time. But if I read it right, and I swear I did, it can be attuned to by anyone. So if a rogue uses it, they can like touch the toe of an evil spellcaster and instantly cancel whatever spell the guy casts as long as it's lower than explosive. And then the rogue can just use that spell on themselves. Or on the evil caster.
Oh, I'm married!
Without even needing magic. Ring of XRay Vision. This item, as you've guessed, lets you see juicy, meaty cocks behind people's clothes, unless they're wearing a thin sheet of lead. I guess you can see pages inside of closed books or any sort of hidden information like chest contents or boobs or bazongas. Every time I write boobs or butts into the script, I struggle to find a YouTube-safe image to pair with it. Now you know how hard my job is. And lastly, the Apparatus of the Crab. It's designed to be submerged for expeditions, and although it only carries 2 medium-sized creatures at a time, you can probably get a king or a noble to join you on an expedition and drop just below its pressure capacity. I mean, it's probably a waste of a good apparatus, but it's funny. If you put on like a helm of teleportation, you can grab the guy's crown and then use it to teleport to the throne room. Then he either caves in from the pressure and everybody's better off, or you get a fun story where you fight a vengeful crab king.
So here's this giant enemy crab.
That's what I did to Crit Crab. He's still in that apparatus. I guess he just makes videos in there. Anyway, that's most of the good ones. Please actually tell me creative uses that you guys have had for magic items in your campaigns. I'd love to hear them. Honestly, mundane items too, that's really cool. Anything but sovereign glue. If you bring that up, my mouth will begin to foam. Here's what I would use it for. On you. That's a very appropriate point to end the video. Goodbye.